Welcome back to the Dynasty Arsenal podcast. This is episode 6. I am Sammy Stacks, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friend and co-host, Tags and Tags. It seems your Patriots have a quarterback.
Yeah, he might be kind of good, you know?
He might be all right.
Might be kind of good.
Yeah, and I think the rest of the NFL is raging at the fact that it took 2 years of Mac Jones, 2 years of misery to turn around, and you got the new Belichick and the new Brady.
Dude, I love it. I was out on the road on tour currently, and as soon as our show was done, I tuned in to the Patriots game while we're loading out, and I was like, guys, we're winning, and it's the fourth quarter. So I was
unbelievable.
I was very glued to the game the entire time we're loading out our show, and
He looked unreal.
It was awesome.
Making plays all over the place, digs, resurgence.
And now everyone knows about May. If only you guys listened to our podcast. What was it, last week or 2 weeks ago, where we talked about May as a buy?
Yeah, I mean he's gonna be in that late first, early second round startup range with the rushing upside.
He's got to be.
Yeah. Another quarterback we should touch on quickly is Joe Flacco, traded to the Bengals.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah, he loses his starting spot and finds a new one. I think the initial reaction was very much excitement, like the Bengals are saved. Higgins is going to be fine. Chase is going to be fine. I've sort of had some time to think about it, and I'm a little more down on that. Joe Flacco is not. He is the statue of all statues. And
this year in particularly, he's struggled when under pressure. He has one of the worst PFF ratings under pressure, and going behind the Bengals line is not going to help with that. I mean, they're just going to hope Chase or Higgins gets open within like a second, so he can just dump the ball off to him.
I think it was the Ballers that I was listening to, and they made this analogy. They were like Jake Browning is Lamar Jackson in comparison to Joe Flacco, like in terms of mobility. Like it's gonna be he can probably he's definitely a better processor, obviously.
Yeah.
But with pressure in his face, like they're gonna need so much chip help and all this kind of stuff. I think maybe it's just better for Chase Brown. Like,
I don't know. I don't think anything can salvage Chase Brown's production at this point.
He had I'm thinking checkdowns, but I think he had 7 receptions last week.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe he figures something out, but
I do like it more for my Jamar Chase shares. I think Flacco is just going to be, I don't know. He's going to be Jake Browning 2.0. Minus any potential upside, so he might even be worse. But
if this tells you anything,
yeah.
The Bengals, I believe they were 14.5 point dogs against the Packers before the trade.
Oh no, what is it now?
They are now 14-point dogs.
Oh yeah.
So Joe Flacco is worth half a point.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah, you are saying there's a chance, exactly. I'll do a quick. Go ahead.
Yeah, how'd your flock league do?
Yeah, we did get a dub. We're 3-2. I came up against Badaki, who has the This is like the team that your buddy who is playing fantasy for the first time and didn't know what he was doing shows you, and you're like, oh god, dude, like pack it in.
Damn.
You know,
Badaki's taking strays right now.
Dude, he started RJ Harvey and Troy Franklin in his flexes this week.
All right, pro Denver guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was just like he had Chase Brown, Joe Burrow, Malik Neighbors.
Oh no.
He also had Trey Benson, so he thought he had a running back for like a week.
So you're just scrounging together anyone off the street who can go in.
It's brutal. I mean,
try to get something. Get a
this coming
for
week,
a touchdown.
Like I've had terrible luck with injuries too. I took George Kittle, Mike Evans, James Conner, Ricky Pearsall, That was my 3 through 6. I'd have none of them this week. I also don't have Nico Collins this week, who's on bye. I don't have Jordan Mason, who's on bye. It's I'm starting Kendrick Bourne and Hunter Henry in my flexes. So
hey man, maybe Kendrick Bourne goes for another 100-some-yard game.
Right? I would absolutely take that. So yeah, we're playing Sal, and he's got Jonathan Taylor and Christian McCaffrey, which is like the scariest running back room of all time.
They're both gonna go for like 5 touchdowns total.
I said in my Flock League video, check it out by the way. But I said in my Flock League video this week, I was like, if they combine for 50, I'll take that as a win.
I mean,
but it could be 70, and I'm like, yeah.
You're like, let's just have a totally reasonable 25-point game each. Reasonable. Let's not get too crazy.
Yeah, and I don't think it's gonna happen. But
I mean,
but
they got Jawan Jennings coming back, so maybe he takes a little bit of the targets.
He was limited
from,
today, right?
CMC.
I think I saw, or he was limited. They shouldn't be practicing yet. I don't know.
I think he was projected to do full practice Monday.
That's
but
good.
I think he's in line to get back in there this week.
Yeah,
will he play the full game? Probably not.
But honestly, that's bad for Kendrick Bourne, so I don't even know if I like that.
That is true.
So today on our show, we are going to do buys and sells for Dynasty, but with a little bit of a twist, or maybe some specificity. We're going into week 6. Your league is starting to take shape of who those contenders are, which teams have decided that they're going to punt, which teams are full on rebuilds, which teams are on the bubble looking to make a playoff push. And so those first and second round picks that are floating around on rosters in your league, their value's beginning to change, right? Because you see a team that's currently 5-0 and they're gunning for one of those buys. That's going to be a bottom 4 pick, right? Or you got the teams that are deciding to punt, and okay, those teams are looking like they're going to be more 101 to 104. So what we're bringing you today is a buy and a sell for each type of first and second round pick. So we're going to do a player that you should be buying with an early first, and a player that you should be selling to acquire an early first, if that makes sense. And we're going to do the same thing for mid and late first, and we're going to do the same thing for second round picks, early, mid, and late. We've split this up a little bit. Me and Tags have not talked about who is doing what or which players we have chosen, so there'll be a little bit of a surprise there. I mentioned to him before we recorded that it would be very funny if like his late first buy is the same as my late first sell. and I hope something. It's like just argue.
It's like Schrodinger's NFL prospect. It could both be a buy and a sell, but we don't know.
yeah, we'll see. So Tags is going to kick us off here with a player that he is buying with an early first round pick projected.
So before we jump in, I kind of want to do a little disclaimer. I think if you're a Dynasty player trying to level up your game, I think the best thing you can do is kind of know the state of the college game. And we're kind of starting to get an early evaluation of the 2026 class. A lot can change, but currently I'm projecting we will have a quarterback at 101. I think it's going to be Dante Moore. We're going to have a couple high upside wide receivers in the first round. The two main ones being Jordan Tyson from Arizona State, who's looking really good. I think he's going to be top 5 pick potential.
He could be,
almost guaranteed to be a top 10 pick.
He looks really good.
I think he has the ability to be a wide receiver 1 on a team in the NFL.
Dante Moore is out of Oregon, by the way, for
yes.
everybody listening.
And then I think Carnell Tate is another high upside wide receiver from OSU.
Draft Ohio State wide receivers.
That's what we know. We've have years of history on this where it's like, if you want the safest pick possible, just take whatever wide receivers are coming out of OSU, because more often than not, it pays out.
It's like a 90% hit rate.
Yeah.
It's like insane.
We could see some other quarterbacks in the first round with like Lenore Sellers, who is a rushing threat, Anthony Richardson 2.0.
Yeah. That's going to be fun to discuss.
Yes, because in fantasy, we love our rushing quarterbacks. And then guys like the running back class is kind of weak. We've got Jeremiah Love, who is a stud.
He could be a top. He could be like a top 15 pick this year.
He's going to be a first round lock. Like he's just so good. So I think I feel very safe if I have a top 5 to 6 pick. And that's
I like it a lot too.
Kind of every year. There's 5 to 6 very solid, safe picks you can have. If I have any top 6 picks year in, year out, you're almost guaranteed to get very productive players that are going to help your team.
And
once it gets to the mid to late first is where draft class can kind of fall off and it gets a little bit more riskier. Mm-hmm. So I think it's important to kind of, if you're trying to level up your dynasty game, the easiest way to do that is to follow along with college, because then you can have a good evaluation of what those 2026 future picks actually kind of look like, not just, oh, it's a mystery value. Like,
and you know what, Tags? A lot of people, I think, they aren't tuned in and they've just heard a few people say, oh, the 2027 class is so much better. Arch Manning isn't going to declare until 2027. Jeremiah Smith is in 2027.
Dude, Arch Manning might not declare until 2028 at this point.
Arch Manning might, like, if Arch Manning declared for the 2020, if he stopped playing this week and he declared for the 2026 draft, he might not get drafted.
No.
He looks terrible. Like
he would get drafted on name base, but this is 6th round pick, 7th round pick.
This is exactly why you can't make these vast sweeping claims about a draft class a year out, 2 years out. We have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Ollie Gordon was RB1 going into the season last year, and look what happened.
And we heard last year how weak the 2025 class was. Like, I knew people last offseason that were just like, I'm selling my picks. Like, I'm getting out. It's going to be an awful class. And sneak preview to next week when we do our draft, rookie redraft.
Yes.
It turns out like the class this past year was actually pretty solid. Like I'm very happy with the production we've gotten out of that class.
Yeah.
So it's so hard to predict in advance, but I think if you're trying to get that next leg up, if you're trying to find that edge on a lot of your league mates who I would guess 70 to 80% of dynasty players do not tune into what the next year's class is kind of shaping up to be until the off season.
Yeah, especially in like October. Like nobody, people are watching. Maybe people are watching college football. I honestly don't watch a ton. I try and catch the big games, but it's hard. I mean, I'm spending 11 hours on the couch on Sunday. I don't need to do it on Saturday too. It's hard to keep up with all that. But if you're able to sort of just get an idea of what's coming up, there's gonna be 6, 7, 8 really good picks at the top there. Another Fernando Mendoza out of Indiana, quarterback. Yeah. He's also looking really good so far. A lot of people like him. He could be a top 5 pick.
John Mateer, Carson Beck is playing himself into a first round pick potential. So I think this class is going to be everything's going to be fine. This happens every year. There's going to be productive players. But yeah, if you're trying to like find that next edge to get to be able to gain value over your league mates, that's kind of the next step, is to know what these picks are worth. And with that being said, my early first buy, I've got 2 of them. I've got Garrett Wilson and I've got Tyler Warren. And we've already talked about Tyler Warren. Right. So I don't know if we have to spend a whole lot of time there. Garrett Wilson's currently wide receiver 5 on an offense that struggles to throw the ball. Where have we heard this narrative before? It's only every single year with Garrett Wilson. He always finishes as a wide receiver 1. And he's still 25. He's completely quarterback independent at this point. Like, I don't care who's the quarterback there. We saw Mike White go in last year and he's still putting up wide receiver 1 numbers. So he's just kind of agnostic to quarterback change. Like, he's just solid. He's just such a good player. I don't care if Fields is there next year. They currently have the 101 pick in the draft. So if Dante Moore is going in there, love it. So I'm buying Garrett Wilson if it's a 101 pick next year. I'm fine buying Garrett Wilson for that price because
Wow.
I think he's just so good. And we've seen his floor. His floor is a back end wide receiver one. And it's easy to buy that talent and the safety of him because I don't care who's coming in for quarterback. He's gonna get his. And then my second one is Tyler Warren, who we've already talked about. He's just so good, man. He's used all over the field. That offense is completely run through him. He's now getting goal line rushing attempts, and he has so many designed plays built around him in that offense that he has a solid floor built in with those design plays. And now you're adding in the upside of rushing touchdowns. And so far, he finally got his first receiving touchdown this past week. If he starts mixing in, and he's tight end 3 overall in the year, just got his first touchdown through the air this past week. So if he starts picking up more of that red zone target percentage on top of the rushing upside in the at the goal line, and mixed with all the guaranteed production he has, if he finishes tight end 1, 2, 3, what's the difference between him and Bowers? But you can buy him for an early first, and I know this for a fact because in one of my leagues I've already bought him for an early first, and you've seen that deal, Sammy. And I'm currently in talks in 2 other leagues for Tyler Warren for an early first range. There's a team that's 1-4, currently has a projected 103 pick, and I'm talking with them about Warren, and they're like, seems like the deal's going to get done. So I know for a fact Warren can be acquired for that early first because I've done it in the past week. Mm-hmm. And I think by next year he's going to be worth at least Trey McBride price, possibly closer to Bowers price.
Well, look, I mean, this offseason, Brock Bowers was a 1-2 turn pick.
Yeah.
Mid-second at the latest.
Earliest I saw, he was going at the 106 in a lot of tight end premium leagues.
Oh my God. Yeah, we had a few startups that were 1.75.
Yeah.
Tight end PPR. So he went, I think I took him at the 109 in one of those or the 108 in one of those.
Yeah.
And obviously it hasn't started out great. The Raiders look bad and he has the knee injury. But with Tyler Warren, I think that he could have the Brock Bowers season, and when you combine that with the draft capital and the level of prospect that he was, and the fact that he is in an offense that, even if it's not like, I mean, Daniel Jones could end up with like a Baker Mayfield type resurgence or contract extension here after 2025, but he's in a stable situation that I don't think Bowers has.
I wish the Raiders used Bowers like Indianapolis uses Warren. Like
Honestly, yeah.
Indy's play call is so creative with how they get Warren the matchups he needs by moving him around and just making him a focal point. And I legitimately don't think Warren will have a game this year where he only puts up 5 points, 6 points, 8 points.
Yeah. He's just so reliable.
He's just so reliable. He's so consistent, and that offense is run through him, which means he's going to get his workload on top before anyone else.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I just can't see him scoring less than double-digit points in a week.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'd like to see how the Raiders try and use Bowers once he's fully healthy. But you're absolutely right. They should be moving him around all over the place. Like the goal of the offense is not in Indianapolis. It's just get him the ball. He's such a playmaker in space. And like I said, I think the reason that I like this so much is how solid and how consistent I think that the offense is going to be year after year, right? And he is the number one weapon as of right now.
Yeah.
In the passing game. And that's what you want. I'm going to talk about a guy later who had a very good rookie season at tight end and just isn't the number one target in his offense. And that's why I'm lower on him.
Is it my guy?
I don't think it's your guy.
It's not Mason Taylor. If you're
is
trying
not
to
Mason
sell
Taylor.
Mason Taylor, we're gonna be throwing hands, man.
No. It is not Mason Taylor. I promise.
I almost put Mason Taylor back on this list for this week, and I was like, nah, these people have heard enough.
We can't talk about him for the third week in a row.
Anyways, my mid first buy is QJ, so
of course it is.
People will be like, I'm out of here.
Pretend to be shocked. Yeah, exactly. I really like both of those.
Yeah, who's your early first sell?
So my early first sell. Now this was the most difficult one for me, and I did come out with a name, but I'm gonna caveat it with even if you have the so I'm selling this guy for an early first. Even if you are buying the projected 101, I think you should try and get more. Because he is valued, even though me personally, I would trade him for a projected top 3 pick. But I think that if you have this player, you should try and get a little more than that. And it's Justin Herbert. Okay? So he is currently, and for these sells, what I tried to do, and I think Tags did this as well, we use Keep Trade Cut as a tool to sort of just gauge where a player is valued currently in the community. And Justin Herbert right now is the QB5 on Keep Trade Cut. And he's ranked as the 15th overall player in Superflex leagues, which is just insane to me. He was like a top 5 quarterback in week 1. He played that Friday night game against the Chiefs. He hasn't finished in the top 12 since then. The offensive line is incredibly injured. Hampton just went down. The running game is not going to be able to be something that they're going to be able to lean on. Right? And for the rest of 2025, he's just a streaming quarterback. And this goes back to what I said in that quarterback spiel that I had a few episodes ago, where if he's just a streaming quarterback and he's not something that you're going to be able to plug into your lineup every single week and rely on to be a quarterback one, he's just the same as all these other guys. And now with the fact that the offense has taken a huge step back with the injuries on the line. They lost Rashawn Slater before the year started. They lost Joe Alt to an ankle injury. Now he should be coming back at some point. But now they've lost Hampton. His value is not going to increase in 2025 from this point. It won't happen. And so when we get out of the season, people are going to look back and they're going to see, oh, Herbert was outscored by Baker Mayfield and Dak Prescott and Drake May, and however long that list is. And he's going to be lumped into this bucket with all these other 24 to 28-year-old quarterbacks who, if they have a really good year and they throw a bunch of touchdowns, then they'll finish as a top 6 quarterback. And if not, they're just the same as all the other ones. And if you sell him for this pick, as soon as 2026 hits, when Herbert's value is going to fall, that pick is going to skyrocket. Right? We see this every year. As soon as rookie draft season starts and people are talking about these prospects and all your favorite Dynasty creators are talking about, oh, this class is good at this position and whatever. As soon as all that starts happening, those picks only increase in value. And so what I think you're doing here is you're selling an asset at his absolute highest value to acquire an asset at its lowest value. And in 4 months, these values are going to flip. And you won't be able to sell Herbert for the 101. I don't think, at least, when we get to April.
I think 101 would be tough this offseason just because rookie hype's going to be through the roof. Mm-hmm. I'm viewing Herbert as a buy if I'm a tanking team, because we know because his production drop isn't on him, isn't his fault. It's his entire offensive line dropping out, losing Hampton. If I'm looking this offseason and I'm like, would I rather have the 102, 103, or would I rather have Herbert? If I'm a rebuilding team, give me Herbert. So I kind of think maybe wait a few weeks, wait for him to continue struggling, and see if you can get him for an early first. Like
Is
especially if you can get something back, or if you can sell. A lot of times, what I like to do, like if the Herbert owner is the guy whose team is struggling, you might be able to send him a first, try to get him to nudge his team to the resale side, because most Herbert teams right now are like middle of the pack. We're either
probably
we're trying to get into the playoffs, but don't have the production we'd really like from the quarterback. You might be able to get an early first, send him to the Herbert owner, convince him to send you see if you can get a second back or a third, just something back on top. And that might nudge him to the rebuild side and leaning that way. But I think Herbert's worth an early first, because he's going to be back to higher production, hopefully, that we saw at the beginning of this year once his O-line is back and once Hampton is back.
And I think this difference in opinion mainly just goes back to my opinion on these quarterbacks where they don't have the elite rushing upside. Yeah. Because you say, okay, he'll go back to the production. It was 1 week. It was only week 1, and he wasn't a quarterback 1 in any other week since then. And I just think that I don't have any doubt that that Justin Herbert will have a year where he finishes in the top 6. I don't know if he was in the top 6 in his sophomore year, but he was definitely close.
Yeah, he was very close.
I do think that will happen again. But I also think that'll happen for any other guy who's being ranked from quarterback 10 to 18 right now. And the reason why I want to sell right now is because he's the quarterback 5. The quarterback 5. He's the 15th overall player in Superflex for a guy that isn't even like a quarterback 1 on the year right now.
Yeah, I do think if you're going to sell him, now's the time.
So sell him now.
Because people are still hot on the Chargers offense, might not realize Herbert himself, his production has been a little bit lower.
Yeah, it seems like the stigma around him so far has been that he's this rushing threat, and that this team wants, because their pass rate over expectation has been really high this year. And people love that for Herbert.
Yeah.
And I think that'll only continue with the running game being worse. But the problem is with the offensive line being so bad, it's not like that pass rate over expectation is going to turn into a ton of fantasy points.
Hey man, you see that 40-yard rush he had though this year?
Yeah. Well, he's athletic, he's great, and that's all good. But I want points, and he's not giving them right now. And so, like you said, I would sell him right now for that early first plus if you can get it, and then buy him back for less than that in April.
And I think you can probably get a plus on top of that first. So I do like the idea of. You're basically I've done this in a few leagues. Last year I did it with Bryce Young. I bought Bryce Young at his lowest from you for a late second. Sorry to dig into that one.
No, it's all right. It's fine.
And then this offseason, sold him for a first. It's I rented him.
Yeah.
You just rent the player out and then grab them back when they're cheaper this offseason.
Dynasty fantasy football is a market, right? The values are going up and down all the time. You just play the market. Right now, Herbert isn't going to help you win a championship. He's not going to.
I like the idea of selling Herbert if you have. See, Herbs is a Schrodinger cat for me, because I could see him both being a buy and a sell depending on your team's makeup as a rebuild.
I agree with you, but there is no chance I'm buying him at this price.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I like the idea, especially if you're a rebuild team, you're trying to keep points off your team. So I like the idea of shipping off a first later, or shipping off whatever pick later on when his price is dropped, with a few more weeks of literally not having an offensive line.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that his value should have fallen already, but according to the community, it hasn't. And so
I feel like any value drops like his takes 3 weeks for the community to kind of catch on that he's not putting up the numbers he should be.
Yeah, absolutely. Who is your player that you are buying with a projected mid first round pick?
Player I talked about during the quarterback section we had a few weeks ago. Good old Jared Goff. Who's more consistent? Who's a more consistent quarterback 1 for a team that can be had for a single first? He's He's currently quarterback 11, so he's sneaking into the QB1 talks. He's got 12 touchdowns, 2 interceptions on the year. Playing great. And he's just like, I've said this before, he's kind of like the fantasy football GOAT of cheap, acquirable quarterbacks because no one wants them. I could easily, I can get Goff for a first in most leagues, I would imagine. And he's going to put up quarterback 1 numbers every year. He might have some games where he only scores 12 points, 15 points, because freaking David Montgomery is throwing touchdowns instead of him. But for the price, like if you're a competing team, you have a guy like, I don't know, Geno Smith as your QB2. I'm gladly sending out a mid first to try and acquire Goff because he's just so consistent. He's going to bring stability to your entire lineup, having that stability at QB2. And he's cheap. Like no other quarterback in that range that puts up production he has can be acquired for a single mid first.
Yeah, I really like it. Jared Goff is one of those guys where I look at him so much differently in a Superflex Dynasty league compared to like a redraft. Nobody wants him in a 1 quarterback redraft league because he's going to have these up and down games. They're kind of random. You don't really know when to start him. You're going to stream him in good matchups and you're going to bench him in the bad ones. But in a Superflex Dynasty league, like you just want a quarterback 2 who is going to end up in the top 15 by the end of the year. And Jared Goff's going to do that. And it's just that solidity of that spot, I think, that is attractive with him. And yeah, he's not desirable at all. Like
he's also still 30.
Yeah, he's got lots of time left.
And with his contract, like you're gonna get 3 to 4 more years at least, barring any injuries or setbacks. Like you're gonna get 3 to 4 more years of quarterback 1 production.
Yeah,
for him and for a mid first, that's an easy smash for a competing team.
Yeah, like, and we can easily lump Dak in here too.
Yeah,
just these older guys who are going to put up points. And the Lions, I mean, they look like they haven't lost a step on offense with Ben Johnson gone. The trick plays are still there. The explosiveness of the offense is still there, minus Jameson Williams, unfortunately. But
preview of one of my future sells.
Really? Okay, that'll be fun.
Sneak peek. Stay tuned.
Yeah, so I really, really like this. I think if you're a team that needs some help at quarterback 2, like you said, a Geno team, or I don't know, maybe you had Burrow, and now you're struggling to fill your Superflex slot.
You had Flacco for the Browns, and you're just like, man, how am I going to replace this?
All right. My player that I am selling to acquire a mid first. This one, I kind of I went into the mindset of a team that was on the bubble and it hasn't started that well, and now you're going to try and punt. And you are going to sell A.J. Brown to a team that is also on the bubble that wants to add a big-time wide receiver to try and push them into the playoffs. A.J. Brown is currently the wide receiver 19 on Keep Trade Cut in Dynasty, Superflex. And the reason I think that this sounds like a little bit of a cop-out, and it's like, okay, of course they're going to sell A.J. Brown. But, of course, like obviously you want to sell A.J. Brown, the guy sucks. But I think that a lot of people are expecting some regression to the mean, and there's a lot of talk about, oh, the Eagles are, squeaky wheel gets the grease, and A.J. Brown he's being reasonable. He's just saying, I want to be a part of us winning. I want to contribute, and just doing cardio isn't him contributing. Something that scares me a little bit. So this is from Matthew Betts on X. This is the Eagles' neutral pass rate by week. Okay, week 1, 36%. Gross. That's disgusting. Week 2, 38%. Also bad. Week 3, 59%. Okay, getting a little better. Week 4, 62%. And then last week, 79% against the Broncos. Okay, that's good. That's great. Tags, which game did they lose?
Might have been the Broncos.
It was the Broncos. They decide to pass it 80% of the time in neutral situations.
How do they
and
only
lose.
give 6 carries to Barkley? I
It's like
don't understand
it's
it.
honestly like they were so influenced by what everybody was talking about
Yeah.
that they were like, and AJ Brown had that, like, it would have been like a 40-yard touchdown that he slowed up before he saw the ball. And it's just,
He
I
was
think
trotting
that,
out there. He's not even doing cardio because he's just jogging.
yeah,
His
yeah.
heart rate is not up at all.
My personal opinion is that I don't necessarily see them figuring this out to the point where he's a wide receiver 1 rest of season.
Yeah.
But even if they do, getting a mid first for a 28-year-old wide receiver is a perfect price on a rebuilder or a punting team. And like, you could make this deal. This pick ends up being the 105. AJ Brown, from this point forward, is the wide receiver 1 in fantasy. He turns into Puka Nacua, and you still made a good trade.
Yeah. If
Like,
AJ Brown turns into Carnell Tate and you're able to re-roll that, or Jeremiah Love next year, like give me the younger players.
like, he is very close to being viewed, like, and to start having his value dropping, like Tyreek did
Yeah.
as he got older. Like this type of thing, where I don't think that the age that him being 28 has necessarily set in for people yet. And I also think that a lot of people could see this as a buy low, especially in a like situation where they have started to pass the ball more.
And I think a couple less dynasty savvy, up-to-date managers will see the name, and the name alone, they'll be like, yeah, a first for AJ Brown. Let's do it. I'm personally not buying AJ Brown for like, I don't even know what I'd pay for him. Like, if I'm a contending team, I might send, if I'm expected to win, I might send the 110, 111, 112 for him.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, I don't know. But I think the name value alone, you might be able to find some guys who will take AJ Brown for that price.
It's also a really easy deal to make for those teams where it's like, okay, I need a piece to get over the line. I still have my 2026 first. Let me just add AJ Brown to this roster.
Yeah.
And try and make a push.
It looks, I'll tell you what, it looks nice to have that name value on your team. Yeah, but in reality, like, he's not providing production for your team.
No, and he's every week people are talking about, okay, should this guy be in your starting lineup?
Yeah. And I think it's going to continue. I hate those players.
It's so hard to take him out because
it's like, he could put up 30 points or he could put up 2 points.
It's like Derrick Henry this week.
I'm just like, I don't want to have to deal with this decision every single week. Give me something more consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Who is your player that you are buying with a late first round pick?
Late first. So I kind of clump mid first and late first into the same category at this time of year, because a lot of teams that have mid first still might consider themselves a late first caliber team, a contending playoff team. So I they're kind of all together, because most people who are still might be in the playoff hunt consider themselves a late first. So this guy is Josh Jacobs. He's running back 14 currently, just outside of running back 1 territory. I think you can get him for a late first. If I'm a contending team, I'm trying to add him everywhere because that production is just so valuable. And he started getting used in the passing game again the past 2 weeks. He had 9 targets last week. I think he had 5 targets this week. We start seeing him in the passing game. There's literally no one behind him to cut into his workload. Like, I'm not concerned about Emmanuel Wilson or Marshawn Lloyd if he ever comes back. Like, he's going to be there. He's going to be taking the bulk of the work. And his playoff matchups are against Chicago and Baltimore. And those are 2 pretty good matchups currently. We'll see if Baltimore gets healthy. That might change. But if I'm a contending team, I'm buying Josh Jacobs everywhere. He's just so consistent with his production. He's getting used more in the passing game. I think he's just going to be a stud for the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think this makes a lot of sense. It's a player that I don't know if many rebuilders will have him, but this could be a player who is on a team that had AJ Brown and Joe Burrow
Yeah.
and Derrick Henry, and now they're saying, okay, I gotta sell.
And we could
Like
we could
I'm
see him also on a team that maybe the team started 1-4. They started 2-3. And their managers at this point might be panicking a little
yeah,
bit. And if you can send an offer that's like, hey, cash out on this player, give me Jacobs, it might be enough to nudge them to decide to rebuild and just sell the team. So I think it's worth checking out because he is probably on a middle of the road team. And if that's the case, that offer of a first for him might be enough to just give the owner a reason to just cash out on the season.
hmm
And guess what? That means you don't have to play against Josh Jacobs in the playoffs. It's two birds, one stone. You get him off a contending team and you get that production on your side for the playoffs.
yeah, yeah. I really like it, and like you said, there's nobody behind him, and I think there was a lot of fear coming into 2024, his first year on the Packers, of like, okay, this has always been Matt LaFleur always wants to run a committee, and he always talks about how he doesn't want to give all the work to one guy. He hasn't had a choice. Like Emmanuel Wilson is a jag, and Marshawn Lloyd is always hurt. So, like you said, like he has the entire backfield to himself, and he's a top 6 running back rest of season.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs will win people championships. I don't have any doubt in that.
And that offense is going to move the ball too. So it's plenty of scoring upside. And yeah, I feel like his value is still fairly low for the production profile he brings to a team.
And I think we mentioned this most weeks that you want to play Dynasty in these 3 to 5 year windows. And Jacobs, he could have 3. I think he definitely has this year and next year left. And he could have another after that of relevancy. And buying that for a late first round pick on a contender, like you said, I think it's an absolute perfect move.
Yeah, for that price, if I get 2 years of production from him, I'm pretty happy with my investment.
Yeah, absolutely. My late first sell. This is an interesting one. I think you can do this in sort of any situation. This isn't really about getting out of an aging veteran like AJ Brown. This is just a player that I think is mid and shouldn't be valued the way that he is. And it's Sam Laporta. This is the tight end that I was talking about earlier that had a good rookie season and skyrocketed in value, had a disappointing 2024. And this take is just that I don't think that he is very good. And I think that he ran really hot in his rookie season. He had a lot of touchdowns. And I think he sort of really held on to that value that he gained in his rookie year. And that's what's keeping him valued where he is right now. On Keep Trade Cut, he is valued very similarly to a late 2026 first round pick. And I'm going to give you some full PPR points per game stats for all of 2024, games that these players were healthy, and starting off in 2025. Dallas Goedert in 2024 and 2025 is averaging 12.2 PPR points per game. Sam Laporta is averaging 10.8. And Hunter Henry is averaging 10.3. So what I'm trying to illustrate here is that Sam Laporta is valued where he is because he's young, right? And because of his good rookie season. And that's fair, right? You're not going to take Dallas Goedert over Sam Laporta just because he's averaged 1.5 points more per game over the last 2 years. But, Tags, if I offered you right now 24-year-old Dallas Goedert for a late first round pick, what would you say to me?
No.
Yeah, right? You'd probably say no. You'd probably say 24-year-old Dallas Goedert is not worth a late first round pick.
Give me like 31-year-old Dallas Goedert or wherever he is now.
Right? So if I have Sam Laporta on a contending team, I'm going to try and trade him for a late first. Plus, somehow, it could be in another deal. It could be you have Hunter Henry on the bench. I'm just happy to play those guys over him. Or I'll get a first and a vet tight end in that deal who will produce the same or better than him for the rest of the year. And then maybe I can flip the first that I acquired for an upgrade at a different position. Or if I'm a rebuilder and I have Sam Laporta, I'll sell him to a contender that is like, oh, I can send my late first for a tight end who will help me this year and in the future. I just think that Laporta projects to me as a guy who will finish somewhere from tight end 6 to tight end 12 for like the next 8 years. And that's just not very valuable.
His workload is just so inconsistent too. Like,
Well, yeah, the
he
offense
could
is
put up,
Jameer Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown,
yeah.
and like it's just there's too many mouths to feed here. He ran hot with touchdowns in his rookie season, but there's too many mouths to feed here for him to be a consistent, reliable option like a Tyler Warren, right?
Yeah, I've got him in a few leagues, and it's like, will I get a 4-point game from him this week, or will I get a 25-point game?
Yeah.
Just not sure. And there's definitely been a few weeks I've lost because I've put him in, and he just like puts up a dud. So I like the idea. I think he still has name value. He's still very young. I like the idea of kind of flipping him and getting out because you can re-roll that first into either package it for an upgrade or just re-roll it into a different upgrade position on your team.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's why it works. Like I said, it works for any type of roster that has Sam Laporta on it.
Would you rather have Sam Laporta or Dalton Kincaid right now? I think, given how Kincaid has looked this year, I think I want Kincaid, but you can get Kincaid at a huge discount compared to where Laporta's at.
To catch on to the production that Dalton Kincaid is putting up this year. But again, I don't think Sam Laporta has the potential to be a perennial top 6 tight end who's getting drafted in the top 8 rounds of redraft leagues for the next however many years. I think Kincaid, if he continues at the pace that he's on right now, I think he could do that. And so he's on an offense where there is absolutely room for somebody to be the number 1 target earner. Laporta, it's not there. It's not there at all. So I would absolutely, and I would get a plus. I would trade Sam Laporta for Dalton Kincaid plus right now.
Yeah, there's a few trades on the trade database where it's like Laporta for Dalton Kincaid, a second, and Isaiah Likely. Like, give me the Kincaid side all day.
It's so easily. So
it's interesting because Kincaid is a player ranked 100 in keep trade cut, and Laporta is 47. So those are the kind of like deals we love to find out because Laporta is worth way more, but he's going to give you the difference between him and Kincaid is like they're the same player. Kincaid's a year older, but they're going to give you the same production profile. So give me the same production profile plus whatever added on.
Well, and I think the upside is higher as well. Like
absolutely, there's more room to feed in the Bills offense and for Kincaid to carve out a role for himself. Whereas Lions offense, like Amon-Ra, Gibbs, they're both going to get theirs. And then tight end's going to be an afterthought.
Yeah, absolutely. So for the second round picks here, we're going to flip the script a little bit. Tags is going to be the seller, and I am going to be buying. So we'll start with, how should we do this? Should I do... You go with your early second round sell.
Yeah. I like the idea of being a seller. Step into my shop. I got all the goods for you. Would you like a Jameson Williams?
There we go. There it is.
I don't know why I went with a pirate voice on that. It just felt right.
It's shady, you know?
I walk out with a trench coat. I've got a Jameson Williams for you here. Would you like a Calvin Ridley?
No, I would
not. First sell is a Jameson Williams. I think you can still get an early second for him. There's a lot of people who bought into his first round draft profile. He's still very young. We saw a lot of promising usage from him last year, and I think a lot of people are still in the mindset of, oh, this is going to be the next step he takes is this year. Well, he's been on the field for almost 90% of snaps, and he has zero actual usage or production. He reminds me of that year Alec Pierce. Might have been Was that last year where he was on the field for
Yeah.
literally 100% of snaps and had like 0 points going into like week 10.
Oh, poor JMO, man. We're
Like
comparing him to Alec Pierce.
he's
And
he's
it's
he's a
justified.
decoy. He's a
Yeah.
decoy.
Yeah.
He's on the field so that defenses have to respect him, have to play a little further back because Jameson's on the field, and then they hand the ball off to Gibbs or a swing to Amon-Ra to hit the underneath. He's not being used in that offense. And Isaac Tesla already is being used more than him. He's not on the field as much, but he's at least getting like a target.
Yeah.
So I just like, I think there's still a few people who were sold on Williams' production, sold on his progression trajectory for this year. And I think you can get out for an early second. And I'm taking that all day because I went off the Jameson Williams train, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we talked about just now with Laporta, where the offense
Apparently, this is the Lions podcast, by the way.
I guess so. Yeah, yeah. Buy Gibbs and Amon-Ra if you can. But with JMO, it's similar. Like, I think that JMO would do a lot more in a different offense. I genuinely do, because I think that his value to the Lions, it's like you said, it's to stretch the field. He is a much better NFL wide receiver than a fantasy wide receiver.
Give him the Tyquan Thornton role. Like, swap him out for
God.
Tyquan with the Chiefs. Like, please.
Yeah, and like I remember that, like, he's really good in space and really good after the catch, and he's so fast, but they just don't. It's out of necessity, right?
And
they just don't need him.
We saw that usage last year too, where it's like, all right, they got him on jet sweeps, they have him running on slants. Like,
remember there was he had like an 80-yard touchdown in the playoff game against the Commanders.
yeah,
like where he's just streaking down the field, like ran the whole thing. Like that's the type of player that he is and that he can be.
Yeah,
but
and they had him running outs, they had him running hitches, like anything. But I swear, all they use is him as a decoy. Like, JMO, just go run cardio. We're doing sprints today.
It's unfortunate, right? But I think that, will it change this year? Probably not. And that pick, as soon as 2026 hits and people see, okay, it's the 202, it'll increase in value.
Yeah.
And so this is an absolute fine move to make. It's a move that you could even reverse, right? Like JMO, even this offseason after the good year, he was being valued around the like late first, early second.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
and I think we see Tesla cut into his production even more as the year goes on. Like they traded up to get Tesla, and Tesla has was he a third round pick or a second round pick?
I remember snuck into the third round. Yeah,
yeah.
And they traded two future thirds to get him.
Yeah, so really that's basically second round capital.
Yeah.
To get Tesla. So I think I don't know, that concerns me. I want to get out. I want off the ride.
While one of his big appeals is long touchdowns. He's not a red zone threat, like at all.
Yeah.
He's not a jump ball guy. He's just he's so talented, and he was so good at Alabama. And but the reality of the situation is that he's not very needed. So I really like this one. My players, this is a little combo that I am buying with an early second round pick, and I'm trying to think of the situation you would be in to make this move. Early second round picks that you are selling, you are likely a team that is not high in the standings, right? If it's your own pick, if you have somebody else's early second, you can still do this. But what I'm saying here is that even if you are the worst team in your league, you're rebuilding, you have the 201. You have what will be the 201. I think you could buy either of these names and be very happy about it. And it's two Bears, Colston Loveland and Luther Burden. Now, Colston Loveland is going to be a little more difficult. He was getting drafted anywhere from 109 in a tight end premium to the 202 in like a normal no tight end premium league. And he hasn't really done anything yet. And so I think you could still get him for that price. And the reason why I like it is because these are sort of scenarios where managers may panic on their recently drafted rookies because they haven't done anything. The Colson Loveland manager sees Tyler Warren going absolutely nuts. He's the tight end 3 on the season in fantasy. Like he's insane, right? And they're like, my guy's doing nothing, right? Let me re-roll into an early second round pick. This guy's team sucks. It's gonna be the 201. Let me just punt it, right? Or they're frustrated that Luther Burden, who is it's the same situation, it's just 2 different names, right? They're frustrated that Luther Burden isn't playing more. He hasn't had a game with more than 30% of the snaps yet. The reason that I think this is good is because I think that this is the last really good buy window for these guys. We see this every year. Teams have their bye week and they start incorporating their rookies more. The Bears just had their bye week in week 5. I am a believer in the Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams marriage, and I think that this will work out. And I think that for many years, the Bears will produce a lot of fantasy points. DJ Moore is fading, right? He is seeing his lowest target share, 16% on the season this far, since his rookie year. So even on a rebuilding team, I think Colson Loveland, a top 10 pick in the NFL draft, an incredible prospect, right? He's been injured as well, right? He hasn't been 100%. Cole Kmet is playing over him. I think that will change. So even on a rebuilder, I would rather either of these guys than the 201 in 2026. And with Luther Burden, I like him because I think he just takes over the DJ Moore role. Yards after the catch guy, get him out in space. He is a playmaker. He had a really bad draft eligible year. Like his last year at Mizzou was awful. The quarterback play was just atrocious. And so he wasn't able to put up good numbers. There was also some drama coming into the draft process about his like mom being really involved and his like girlfriend being a problem. There's a bunch of like noise around him, and for a lot of those reasons, he fell to the second round. Whereas a lot of draft people viewed him as a first round talent, and so there is going to be. It's not just going to be Rome Odunze and nobody else like it has been so far. I don't think that will continue, and so. Colson Love and Luther Burden, I think they both have plenty of opportunity to produce in 2025 and beyond, and they can be had for an early second, and I love that price.
Yeah, I think Burden is more in that price range. I'd imagine it's hard to take a rookie in the first round and then cash out for a loss after 1 year.
Yeah.
So I think Loveland's a tougher sell to get a early second for him, but you don't know till you try. It's worth sending the offer. And
yeah. And if you have to add a little more, I'm fine with that. Let's say you have like a Hunter Henry or a Dallas Goedert or something, and a contender drafted Colston Loveland thinking they were going to be able to use him in 2025, and they're just struggling at tight end now. If you can send that vet tight end with an early second to get Loveland, I really like that structure as well.
Yeah, send a second plus Jawan Johnson. Or any of these older tight ends who are being productive this year. Mm-hmm. It's wild that Loveland only has 3 receptions for 43 yards at this point in the season.
It's really bad. And I that's honestly, I think like his value has dropped, and some people might just want to get out.
Yeah, I like it. I like. I think Burden's usage is going to really pick up too as the year goes on.
I mean, he's had one play. Like he had that crazy, what was it, like an 80-yard touchdown?
Yeah, like 83-yard touchdown, I believe. Yeah,
he's had that, and he's had nothing else.
Yeah, and he's going to get worked in because he was
like Zacchaeus
handpicked by him.
And so Ben Johnson is I feel like, we see this every year. Like I said, after the bye, these rookies get more involved, and I'm really excited to see how they start to use these guys going forward.
Loveland is also hella young. Also,
so young.
He's 20. He basically just turned 21 before the season started.
Mm-hmm.
And we see a lot of these tight ends take time to ramp up, especially when they're younger. Yeah. And they're not named Brock Bowers. So I think it is just a matter of hold and see. And if you can get him for sending a older tight end like a Hunter Henry plus a second, I love that deal.
Perfect. Who is your player that you are selling to acquire a projected mid second round pick?
I'm going to combine these two players, and you're going to know why. Because we've talked a lot about them. It's the good old Titans. I am selling Pollard and Calvin Ridley. If I can get a mid to late second, I'm just any second.
I'm just gonna take 5 minutes off, guys. You can just listen to tags.
Yeah, okay. I got this. Tag me in. With Tajay Spears coming back this week, this seems like your last decent sell window for Pollard. I think Spears is way better than Pollard when he can stay healthy. And I think that's just a bad offense, but Pollard is a running back too currently. And a lot of contending teams could see that. And if a team is struggling with running back depth and they need a running back 3, I think they could do worse with Pollard. So I'm trying to cash out on him before Tajay Spears ramps up production. And at the worst, I mean, best case scenario for Pollard is that Spears cuts into 30 to 40% of his touches, which is a hefty 30 to 40% drop in production's a problem. if you're putting up his numbers. Mm-hmm. And worst case, he loses his job to Spears. So I'm just trying to get out. And I think there are competing teams who will see Pollard's production, see the running back 2 price, like kind of production profile on him, and be willing to send a second just to have that running back depth. So I'm trying to get out there, and I'm also trying to get out from Calvin Ridley. He's not even hitting wide receiver 3 production. He's just a fancy name to have on your bench and maybe go in the flex if you're really desperate.
And you're coming off of a good week where he did put up a good score. And I think this is a perfect sell opportunity for him if anybody's drinking the Kool-Aid on that one game.
Yeah.
Which was the most dysfunctional, crazy game of all time.
That Cardinals-Titans game was
oh my God.
I just need like Looney Tunes music playing the entire time that game's going.
You know what I said that was dumb? They credit the Titans defense with that crazy touchdown, which is so weird to me. But like as soon as the Cardinals guy intercepts it, all of a sudden the Cardinals are on offense and the Titans are on defense, even though the play hasn't ended.
Yeah.
So then when Tyler Lockett recovers that fumble in the end zone, the Titans defense got a touchdown.
That's so weird.
In terms of like fantasy scoring.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Yeah, I don't know. That game was insane, and you should.
Everyone who started Tyler Lockett was so disappointed.
Yes, of course.
There are dozens of us.
All the rebuilding
dozens.
Yeah, so I like the Calvin Ridley sell more than the Tony Pollard sell, but it depends on the team. If you're a punt team or a rebuilder, hell yeah, get rid of both of them for a mid second.
So are you holding on Pollard?
If I am if I'm trying to win, especially in like deeper leagues, like if you are in a league that you start 3 wide receivers, 3 flex, then I think I'm fine holding him because my opinion is that he is the running back 1 here. Tajay will get more involved, but I think that it will only make for Pollard's touches to become more valuable, if that makes sense. Like I don't think he's going to continue producing at the same like fantasy points per touch as Tajay works into that. And I think he could put up consistently 10 to 12 PPR points per game, which in like your third flex spot is absolutely fine. I don't dislike the sell.
I guess my problem is that Spears also cuts into the passing workload.
Yeah,
we saw Spears get quite a bit of passing load when he got there. So I'm curious how the split's going to look. I mean, I'm sure they're going to ramp up Spears gradually, but it feels like a last remaining sell window for Pollard.
Yeah, and I have no problem taking advantage of that because you could easily sell him here and then use that if you are trying to win still, use that pick to buy somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't have any problem with it. Um my mid-second buy is I think that this is the perfect move for any teams that are currently on the bubble of the playoffs. This is sort of like the team that's buying AJ Brown. I think that same team should do this instead, basically. And it's Mike Evans. So we talked on our pod in week 3 about how Evans had in the first few weeks come up against very good defenses and secondaries. So he played Atlanta in week 1. They got all hurt now, but in week 1 they were really strong. Then in Houston in week 2, he was shadowed by Derek Stingley the entire game. And then the Jets in week 3 with Sauce Gardner shadowing. Well, he didn't really shadow, but Evans also got hurt in that game.
Yeah.
In those games, he still scored over 10 PPR points in each of them with that difficulty. Okay? So he gets hurt against the Jets. He hurts his hamstring. And now it's looking like he's going to miss his 3rd game in a row here in week 6. But they didn't put him on IR, right? Which tells me that the timeline was less than 4 games. So he should be back in week 7. And we've seen this with Evans before. Just last year was the same thing. Hamstring injury, missed 3 games. So he should be back next week in week 7. Now, if you recall last season, he hurt his hamstring. As I just mentioned, he hurt it in week 7. He missed 3 games. And then when he came back in the final 6 weeks of the season, he averaged 21.2 PPR points per game. He was amazing down the stretch. And that's coming off of a hamstring injury, which he is also doing this year. So I am not worried whatsoever about him struggling to come back from this injury. We saw him do it last year. And I don't want you to forget that this team did everything they possibly could to get him his 1,000 yards last year while missing 3 games. They're going to do it again. Why? What reason do they have to not do it again? Right? So for me, on a team that's on the bubble, I need a little help in the flex. I need some more points in my lineup. It's the easiest thing in the world to send a projected mid 2nd round pick for a 32-year-old currently injured wide receiver. That's not a desirable player to have on your team, right? And so there are a lot of teams that are like, okay, I got to get out of him. This is the last chance that I'm ever going to have to get anything for Mike Evans. And so this mid-2nd round pick that will likely be, like, who is getting taken in the mid-2nd round this year? Jack Besh, Trey Harris, Tootin. Like, yeah. These guys are, this is not a desirable pick, and you could be drafting a guy that could be a wide receiver 1 the rest of the way and could very easily help you win your league.
I love it, and it feels very attainable also because a lot of those teams that have Mike Evans might be a little bit on the struggle bus, given the fact that he has hardly played this year.
Yeah.
So a lot of those teams might be on the bubble, or they might just be 1-4, and just need that little bit of nudge to like move to full rebuild. And I think for like a mid-second is completely attainable.
Yeah.
For Evans. And also kind of makes sense for the other team. I mean, I guess if I have Mike Evans, I'm holding. I don't like cashing out for a second. It feels like, okay, I cashed out for a 20% chance that a player might be decent.
Yeah, you want to wait until he comes back, puts up some good scores, and then you can hopefully get a little more.
Yeah, I'd be hoping he comes back, puts up those 20-some points per game, and then try to move him for a late first to a contender. But if I'm a contender, I'm for sure trying to buy him now before he comes back and puts up that production. And worst case, if he doesn't pay off, you gave up a mid-second. Those
it's not a lot of risk.
No, those players usually have like a 20% chance to pay out anyways. So I love the mid-second buy on that.
Great. Let's we got 2 more late second sell and late second buy. Who is your sell?
I doubled up with the Calvin Ridley sell.
Oh, that was okay.
That was my late second.
Yeah.
So I've got nothing. I did want to say,
yeah.
Did you know Mason Taylor is still valued at a late second on Keep Trade Cut?
Oh my God.
They're lagging behind. They're not. The Keep Trade Cut is not a Mason Taylor fan.
No, they hate him. The
Because
Keep Trade Cut is also not a fan of my late second buy.
I'm at the point where I'm considering a late first range for Mason Taylor.
Oh my God, Tags, you don't need to. You have him everywhere. There's no
still,
need. There's no need for you to buy him anymore.
There's like 20% of my leagues that don't have Mason Taylor that could use Mason Taylor.
Yeah,
every team could use a Mason Taylor. He's a great locker room guy.
My Keep Trade Cut also does not like my late second buy.
This is me with Pitts all over again. I had Pitts on like 80% of my teams.
No, but
every single startup draft, Pitts was always there in like the 5th or 6th round, and I'm just like, you know what? I gotta take him.
Yeah, Mason Taylor's actually
who
good,
wouldn't want a
so
generational prospect at that price?
So my late second buy is the tight end 58 on Keep Trade Cut.
Oh, that's
and
spicy.
If we had gone to third round picks, I probably would have put him in here. But I'm going to be fair to Keep Trade Cut, and I think that they haven't had enough time to adjust to his actual trade value, because I don't think anybody's selling him for a third right now. But it's Darren Waller.
Oh no.
Okay. So
I was so out on him.
So
and he took that personally too.
So I do think that this week there are some teams that maybe want to try and get out because they think that it's not sustainable or whatever. And so I think you could get him for less than a late second, but I would pay a late second on a contender. If you need a tight end, I would absolutely do this. So now everything I say here it has to be caveated with the fact that it's a tiny sample. It's 2 games, right? But in Dynasty, the moves that are going to win you leagues and that are going to gain you in tremendous value are the ones where you make the bet before the stock skyrockets, right? So Tag, I got a question for you. Are you aware of who the leader in tight end points per game is in 2025?
I swear, if it's Darren Waller.
It's Darren Waller.
I'm out of here.
So he has more points per game than Jake Ferguson, who has been the tight end 1 so far this year. He has more points per game than Tyler Warren, who we love on this podcast. Okay? Now, Darren Waller, it's all jokes, right? He gets signed. He's making rap songs outside the stadium. He has this enormous ramp up. It takes him forever to finally play, right? And when they finally do play him, he starts slow, right? He only plays 28% of the snap, but immediately he has a huge red zone role, and he catches 2 touchdowns on that Monday night game against the Jets. Then, in his second week, Tyreek's hurt. The Dolphins are short at pass catcher, right? His snaps increase up to 58%. That's awesome. We're increasing the usage. He's 5 for 78 and a touchdown. And he looked really good. Like, he actually looked athletic. He looked explosive. He was just like bodying dudes. Tags, he's running at 2.91 yards per run right now. That is an insane number.
Especially for a tight end.
That is a ridiculous number. And yes, it's a small sample. But last year, with a healthy Tyreek, right, we saw this team heavily use the tight end position, and specifically a tight end who nobody believed to be very good. And then he left the team and he has disappeared off the face of the earth. Nobody has spoken a word about Jonnu Smith in 2025. And what did he do last year? Right? He was an incredible tight end down the stretch. All this is Waller being the product of a good situation. Jonnu, for the first time last year, played 50% of the snaps in week 7. Okay, he didn't play 50% of the snaps till week 7. Right? Waller just did that for the first time last week. After that game, he averaged 16 PPR points per game. Jonnu Smith did. Jake Ferguson is the only tight end right now in 2025 that is coming anywhere close to that number, except for Darren Waller. He has top 5 upside for 2025. He could finish the season in the top 5, and it's not because he's still that explosive guy at 33. That's not what it is. It's the fact that he's in such a good situation. And if Mike McDaniel gets fired, I worry a little bit. right? But if he can manage to hold on, this team is going to use him. We have already seen it. It's so like damn obvious to me. And I feel like I feel like that's why people are ignoring it. Because it's like, okay, that's not possible. And honestly, some of these things, it's like the most obvious thing. It's like, okay, well, I can't fall for that. Right? Oh, well, they're not going to do the same thing again where they use a below average ability player at tight end like Jonnu Smith and turn him into a league winner. But send a late second and freaking plug him into your lineup every week and just, win your league. Simple.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this buy before. It was literally last year with Jonnu Smith. So on most of my contending teams last year, I bought Jonnu Smith when he started to kind of break out on the Dolphins. And it was this like late second, early third kind of price range.
Yeah.
And paid out. Like Jonnu won me a lot of championships last year. So as much as I hate it, I'm on board with it.
And even if it's like literally Darren Waller could never play another snap after the season ends, and this would be worth it. I just think that I think that people are really sleeping on him. I picked him up in the Flock League. I have George Kittle. Darren Waller might be my better tight end. I am this bought in that I was thinking, Darren Waller could be a trade piece for me at some point. You know what? No, Kittle is the trade piece. All right. Darren Waller he's going to be, honestly, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Because you can capitalize on Kittle's name value on top of his production profile.
Yeah.
And Waller might be more consistent, unfortunately.
It's going to be one of those things where it's going to take 5 or 6 weeks before people are like, okay, now we can actually value him where I think he should be valued right now.
Yeah. Which that means there's a buying window. That's how that works. So I think I like it. I mean, I hate it, but I like it.
And Tags, I hate
Darren Waller being relevant.
Yeah, it's
because I picked him up nowhere because I was like, this doesn't work.
I remember in the summer, you weren't on it as much, but our good friend Jay Bears was he was hating on me a little bit for dropping the fab load on Darren Waller.
Oh, we both were. We both were.
You
So
guys were like, this is gonna be like, this is nothing, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna take the shot. And I honestly I didn't believe then. I was just like, Dynasty fab is whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Like, until this week, literally with like Kamani Vidal and Hassan Haskins, like there had been nothing all year on Dynasty waivers. But so yeah, I have him in so many leagues. I'm currently trying to acquire him in another one right now from a good character in a few of our Dynasty leagues.
This is a league we're both in.
It is a league we're both
You're being very cautious with your name dropping, and I'm like,
I'm worried if I convinced you, you're going to try and get in on this. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But I should have that go through by the end of the day. But yeah, okay. So those are our buys and sells for every type of first and second round pick. I really liked this concept. This was fun.
Yeah. And on that note, I'm going to leave you with a Mason Taylor fun fact.
Oh, I love it.
Mason Taylor had 12 targets this past game. The only tight ends to ever have up to 12 targets in their rookie season within the first 5 games is him and Bowers.
Oh Bowers, my gosh.
Bowers 2.0, lock it in. Lock it in,
Tags,
folks.
I can hear the money printing from all the Dynasty leagues you're going to win.
Guess what? He's also hasn't scored a touchdown this year.
Oh my God.
Once the touchdowns start flowing, given the PPR machine he is, guys, cash it.
I love it.
Too bad none of you guys will be able to get him in my leagues because I own him everywhere, and you can't
send those
have
early
them.
first. Send those early first. Guys. He might.
It's
budge.
at least 2 firsts by now.
Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, we really appreciate everybody listening. Subscribe. All right, like the video so that next week you can catch our rookie redraft that we're gonna do.
That's how we pay the bills.
Rounds. We'll probably do 2 rounds.
Yeah, let's do 2 rounds.
Yeah, so we're gonna do 2 rounds of a rookie redraft next week. That'll be super fun. Yeah, subscribe, hit the like button, and we will see you guys next week.
Later.